Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 28 of my F1 2016 Force India career mode, where we are today at season 2 for the Canadian Grand Prix here today. If you guys have missed any of the videos or you want to go back and check out any of the other races we've done so far, I will leave links to the full playlist down in the description, so hopefully you guys do enjoy the other videos that we've done so far in this career mode. If you guys are also new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's just have a look then. We're 17 points down to Nico Rosberg so far in the championships. It's so close at the top of the moment, guys. Literally, there's probably 8 drivers, honestly, that I think could win a race this season. Which, let's be fair, is pretty incredible. But still, you know, we're hoping every single race is a strong race for myself. Canada, a track that I'm very much a fan of as well. So I hope, you know, we could get a good result today. Last season, if I'm not mistaken here, we actually crashed out. But Chris is about to just give us an R&D information. I don't know whether we've bought a new upgrade for the car or not. I think we might have done at Canada, but no, yes we have even, sorry. And we've got the front wing cascades, which reduces the drag but adds some downforce. So that's looking very strong for ourselves. Obviously Canada, not really the best track for downforce, but still, like, we don't need too much downforce. But you know, with Baku next race out, with that sort of, most of the track is very downforce oriented. And obviously we've got Britain coming up soon as well, and a few more tracks. Obviously downforce is just important in Formula 1. But here we are then, guys, at the the Canadian Grand Prix. As you can see, we're currently 3rd overall in the development standings, but we're 3rd overall as well in the drivers' standings. Ferrari and Mercedes are just ahead of us though, but it's probably 1 or 2 upgrades at the absolute most that they are ahead of us. But let's move on then into our first track acclimatization lap. As you can see, we've got purple so far on every single part, apart from 1 red. But coming into the final chicane, are we going to be able to nail it here? Taking a lot of curve through the first part, and we absolutely nail the chicane there. We get purple through the final couple of corners, but is it going to be purple overall on this lap? Yes, it is, only just though. So this game really allowing you to make 1 big mistake on your whole lap. But still, now moving on to our track qualifying simulation lap, and we get purple there straight away. So very easy free practice there. Pretty happy with how smooth that ran for ourselves. And now just moving on to our agent is now just giving us some information about our new rival. And our new rival is Max Verstappen there, the golden child of Formula 1 right now. But we've managed to get our new rival as well. And now moving on to qualifying 1 here. As we can see, we're just going to fast forward through qualifyings. Just make sure, you know, obviously we should be into Q3 fairly easily. But if you remember, guys, at Spain, a few rounds back, we actually didn't manage to get to Q3 with the changeable conditions. But I don't think Canada here today is going to give us those sorts of conditions once again. Coming into the final chicane, they're braking nice and early, taking a lot of curve through the second part of the chicane there. And just getting an absolutely wonderful run towards the start-finish line. Straight down in it to give us the shortest run. We go purple there in Q1, but we were sandbagging a little bit there, guys, I won't lie. You know, I wasn't really too worried about setting an ultimate lap time there, but we're still up in P3, right behind Max Verstappen, our new rival in the standings there. And that was a very good qualifying run for myself there, you know. Not really trying to push the car too much, really trying to hide our pace almost, if you will. You know, I know I've got a lot more to give in this session, but we end up in P4 behind 4 different drivers from 4 different teams, with the top 4 there in Q1, so it could be a very interesting qualifying. As you can see though, Sauber managed to get into the top 10 with Felipe Nasr, but Marcus Ericsson just missing out with Danny Kvyat as well, getting a very strong 9th place. Kimi Räikkönen there opted to go on the super softs and barely making it through, but Felipe Massa has not made it through into Q2, and that is crucial for Williams. The ultra softs obviously a much quicker tyre around here today, but Felipe Massa falling at the wayside in Q1 there, a huge disappointment for him. But coming into the end of our Q2 lap here, as you can see, take a lot of curve through the final corner there, but coming towards the line, what time are we going to do? And it's pretty much identical to the one we set in Q1, so, you know, feeling very confident with that. Hopefully, you know, we'll still be sort of in the mid-pack of the top 10 there. As you can see, just given to the end of the session, we end up being in P5 there that session. Max Verstappen tops the timesheets for Kimi Räikkönen in 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, Rosberg 4th, myself in 5th, and Sergio Perez in 6th there. So we're probably the 2nd strongest team there. But remember, guys, now we're on the set of super softs for the race there, as Valtteri Bottas has also taken the same strategy as myself. But now moving on to Q3, guys, I'm going to actually show you this whole lap, because I was so happy with how this whole lap went. So meanwhile, coming down to turn 1 here, making sure you downshift, hit the apex nice and tidily in 3rd gear there, and downshift in 2nd for the hairpin of turn 2. This lap I was just so happy with, as we just, you know, it was just, as you'll see, as we go around the rest of the lap, just how proud I was of this lap. But coming through the chicane there, taking a huge amount of curve on the exit there, make sure you get as close to the wall through turn 5 there as you can get, and make sure you brake nice and tidily into turn 6 and 7 for the 2nd chicane there. Make sure we nail that, get close to the exit curve. You really want to avoid the curves on this game, but you want to get as close to them as you possibly can. As you can see, we're already green up on our delta, just braking as you come under the little bridge there. As you can see, taking a lot of curve through the third chicane. They're very, very happy with how well we nailed that once again. Pretty much pushing this car to the absolute limits, pushing the track limits as well to, well, the absolute limits. But coming into the hairpin now, make sure you get as close to the curb on the inside as you can. Don't really get too close to that, but it means we haven't compromised our run at the corner now. But here we are then, coming down the back straight here. You know, Force India at straight line speed. We've said it so many times in this career. What speed are we going to be able to hit? 222 miles an hour there, I think we clocked as we come down the back straight there. That is just unheard of in Formula 1. And coming up now to the start finish line, what time are we going to set? It's going to be a 1 minute 12.3, and that was an absolutely incredible lap from myself there. Can't believe, you know, we nailed that so well. That was a lap, you know, that was really come at me if you dare, the rest of the team there, and very much the rest of the grid there. But that was an absolutely incredible lap. And just giving on to the end of the session, sorry, that was actually a 1 minute 12.2. I thought we just missed out on the 12.2s there, just by the very small display box we've got for what happened there. But still, that is pole position for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sergio Perez gets P9, with Danny Kvyat there in a very, very solid P10 for Toro Rosso there, with obviously Felipe Massa missing out on the points. But here we are then, guys, at the start of the Canadian Grand Prix.
There is, as I look out of my commentary box window, a very large and very excited crowd here today, eagerly anticipating another memorable race. Lewis Hamilton took his maiden win on this circuit in 2007. Jenson Button came from last place to win here in 2011. And there's certainly no shortage of drama on offer here at the Canadian Grand Prix. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here, just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Force India in pole position then, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Verstappen, Nico Rosberg, and Ricciardo, Vettel, Bottas, Perez, and Daniel Kvyat. Sainz, Nasser, Marcus Ericsson, and Grosjean, Button, Gutierrez, Felipe Massa, and Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, and Harry Anto, Jolyon Palmer, and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. And with preparations almost...
So here we are then, guys, on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. And I've noticed instantly that we've not been given our super soft tyres, which is very, very disappointing though for myself. But we're not even going to like worry about the strategy any more than that. Not too worried about underfueling the car for this race, because, you know, rich mix is pretty damn critical for the Canadian Grand Prix here. But now starting our formation up, just getting the tyres warmed up. So yeah, you know, hoping, you know, this should be a very, very strong race for myself. Now we've lost our super soft advantage though. Kind of a bit annoyed with this game. But here we are then on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix here, guys. Got off to a very, very solid start there. You know, just keeping everyone at bay. Obviously not doing Sebastian Vettel, you know, where he leapfrogs everyone off the start line there. But moving on into turn 1, it's been very, very clean and tidy for myself. I think all the action is going to happen behind us as Lewis Hamilton does a look up or inside there. But he doesn't manage to make the move skip. But he's on the set of the soft tyres there. And I'm pretty frustrated with how this game is glitched out and not giving me the tyres choice I actually wanted for this race here. But there we go then, coming through into Sector 2. We've managed to hold on to the lead. Running horribly wide through the next corner though. We managed to hold on to the lead there. As now moving on to lap 4, as you can see, we've got a huge, huge advantage over the AI. Already just pulling away as we go. No, we don't go purple there. I thought we would have, but we've gone purple in the final sector. As we've got, I think one of the AI had come in for the pits now. And now moving on to lap 5. Are we going to go purple this lap? No, we don't once again there. So we're still pulling out against the AI there. But not as much as I'd like. I'd really like to, you know, be piling on the pressure, putting on the purple lap times. But still, Romain Grosjean is now at this Grand Prix. And I don't know what's happened to him there. Whether there's been a crash into the wall of champions or whether it's just been an engine blow. We've seen so many engines die out so far this season. Let's just move on to the Haas car. I'm going to assume that's the correct Haas car part of this circuit. So I don't think it's going to be a problem with the AI ahead of him unless 2 AI up ahead crash. And yes, it has just been another engine retirement there for another car this season. It's not even like it's one engine supplier as well. Just every single team there has been struggling so much so far. Obviously, we saw Sergio at China was a big one that I remember happening. But there we are then, just coming through the final chicane there, as you can see, just parking it pretty much on the outside there. One of the McLaren Hondas there, I think that's Jenson Button, gets caught up behind him, and Alonso has a look up the inside But there's the engine gone. You can hear it before it even happens there. And that's a huge, huge shame for the Haas car there. But still, there we go then, guys. Another one bites the dust. The first one of this Grand Prix. We've actually got a safety car now because of that. So we're going to have to flick it down into lean. And that really has not come out too well for myself, you know. All the AI are going to close back in on this. And this is pretty much getting close to the crossover point where the soft tires will be quicker than the super softs. As you can see, coming to the end of that lap, you know, we've still got the Delta time behind us, and we're actually going to jump into the pit lane here. We're actually miles down on our Delta. We really try boxing the cars up here, so we make sure we get the car slowed down for the pit line, for the pit speeding line. As you can see, coming into the pit, Sergio has actually followed us in there, and that really has not gone well for either of us. So it does also mean that we have done the same sort of strategy as the AI. But moving on to a set of soft tyres, I doubt, you know, we're going to have to make another pit stop during this Grand Prix. But what position do we come out in? It's not looking very, very good for myself here. As you can see, it's going to be, what, P17, maybe even P18 now. P17 is actually going to be... Are we going to be able to jump someone? Yes, we do. We move back into P16, very, very cheekily jumping Jody Palmer there. And we move back into P16. But let's fast forward then to the end of the safety car period. As you can see, right behind Rio Haryanto, you know, another car that's got very, very solid straight line. But we're going to try and nail the start here. Try and pretty much just get right back up with Haryanto as we go on to the restart. But meanwhile, looking at it now, we're going to try and go side by side with him into the final chicane. Obviously, we did this a couple of races back to a few drivers. You know, we really like to just prove our dominance of the AI. And now moving on, we've got the green flags there. Are we going to be able to go at the inside? Haryanto actually dives Gutierrez there, and that has meant that they get caught up on each other through the final corner there. As Gutierrez, you know, just pushes us. We have to push him, sorry, through the final corner. But now with the straight line speed, right round the outside of Esteban Gutierrez, the inside for turn 1. And we move back up into P14 of this race on the set of new tyres. So hoping, you know, we should be able to jump through the AI, pretty much just walking past us. You can see now moving on to the end of lap 9 here. We've still got 25 laps left of this race, as Kevin Magnussen is now the next driver up ahead of us. Are we going to be able to jump past him? I think we are. Yes, we do. Up the inside into the final chicane. And we move back into P13 of the race. Next up is Pascal Wehrlein as well. And are we going to be able to get the jump on him as well as we come down this front straight here? The straight line speed is absolutely incredible. Nearly clocking 200 miles an hour into turn 1, but we dive up his inside into turn 1 and I'm into P12. And the AI pretty much just a back down to me at the moment, because with straight line speed around this Canadian circuit, you know, they really don't have much to fight up against me. As you can see, now moving on to Marcus Ericsson here. We've got 2 Saubers, and they were just inside the points, and I think, you know, I'm sorry for those guys, but we're going to have to crush their hopes and dreams of, you know, a good point solid scoring position here, as you can see. Just following Marcus Ericsson down this straight. What speed are we going to do? Already hit 210. Are we going to clock 220? Yes, we do. 224 miles an hour down towards the final chicane there. We get the car slowed down, and we move up into P11 of the race there. Just skimming the wall on the exit of the final corner there as well. Knocking the front wing slightly there, but nothing too much to worry about. And now moving on to turn 1, we're going to throw it at the inside of his teammate Felipe Naz there. And we move back into points of the Canadian Grand Prix there. So we've now got the Toro Rossos of Carlos Sainz and Danny Kvyat just up ahead of us here. And hope, you know, we should be able to jump those guys as well very, very shortly in this race. But coming through the next couple of corners here, we're actually going to stay on board for a little bit here, as hopefully, you know, we should be able to close in on Carlos Sainz and making sure you can just see how much extra grip we have, how much we can close in on the air. So we've actually got purple there through the first sector. But coming now onto these, well, other back straight, if you will. Not really sure which one to call the back straight. As you can see, nearly clocking 200 miles an hour once again. Then we actually get 199 miles an hour as we throw it at the inside, cut the corner on the exit there a little bit there. But we move up into P9 of the race, and we are just slicing our way through the AI at this stage. The top AI aren't that much ahead of us. As you can see, we've got a huge, huge train of cars just ahead of Danny Kvyat there, and just coming down this back straight. We all know what's going to happen here, guys. It's kind of just a given that we're just going to be able to jump past Danny Kvyat here. As you can see, we're pulling out the DRS, getting a huge amount of straight line speed, 220 miles an hour as we come into the final chicane there, and we move up into P8 of the race there. So that was an absolutely incredible lap there, making 4 positions. You can see we've now got a huge train of cars just up ahead of us, and I'm not sure what's happening to these guys here. I don't know whether like someone's slowing down or whatnot. But as you can see, there's a huge just bottleneck into turn 1 there, and we're not going to take chances here. We're just going to move around the outside of Sebastian Vettel there on a set of soft tyres. We can't afford to just park behind the AI here, as Vettel gets an absolutely beautiful run up into turn 3 there. He managed to hold on to the position there, but we get an absolutely beautiful run through the chicane. Are we going to be able to go out side by side with him? He shuts the door even. Sorry, there's into turn 5 there. As we move up the inside, taking a lot of curve through the corner there. But we move up, sorry, into P7 there of the Canadian Grand Prix. As Danny Kvyat actually followed us through there rather cheekily from Kvyat there, because, you know, taking the position whilst he could. But we're now up to P7, hopefully, you know, closing in on more AI as you come into the final chicane there, as you can see, not really sure what's happening here, but Bottas and Raikkonen are going hugely slowly there, and we're just going to move straight past Valtteri Bottas there. Are we going to be able to get past Raikkonen, just diving between the AI there, and this has been a very, very incredible few laps, as you can see, just driving past the AI, but they're not even there. And next up are the Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo. Max Verstappen is obviously our new championship rival, so very, very critical that we get past him, taking a lot of curb through the corner there, but are we going to be able to close in on him down this front straight? Can we get the move done into turn 1? Yes, we can. Of course we can. Just the AI are no match for myself down the straights, and we move up into P4 of the Canadian Grand Prix. I don't know why I can't remember it's the Canadian Grand Prix here today, guys. But still, next up on my hit list is Daniel Ricciardo, and the two Mercedes are slowly pulling away, seeing what we saw more in the early phases of 2016 over this 2017 season. But still, now moving on to lap 20, we're fast forwarding quite a lot further, as Daniel Ricciardo just managed to make a pit stop there. It wasn't anything particularly special, but now on lap 20, we're going to make our final pit stop of the day. We should ideally go into another set of super soft tyres, but not sure whether we will, because, the super soft's kind of a bit of a gamble here. They managed to do 13 laps fairly well, so I think, we might go for a set of softs. And yes, we do pretty much wanted to safely get to the end of this race, after so many punctures in AOR and things, as our teammate once again has followed us in, so Sergio pretty much just mirroring whatever we do. Hopefully, that'll give him a good result. But we come out the pits. I think this is going to be in P6, P7 maybe, but I think we're going to get the jump back up into P6 then, right behind Daniel Ricciardo once again, ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, sorry. And we move back into a very, very solid 6th place. Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen both have a set of ultra soft tyres there, so they might have to come in and make another pit stop. Well, they will have to come in and make another pit stop during this Grand Prix, so we could be up for like P4, P3, depending on if the AI have really not gone for an ideal strategy. But Raikkonen there, having a look up or inside into the final chicane there on his set of ultra soft tyres, but we attacked the curbs so much there. That was pretty violent the way we attacked the curbs there, as Vettel now has made a pit stop as well, and we get purple in the final sector. But we're back into P4 of this Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo is of podium man currently, and hopefully we should be able to jump back past him very, very shortly, with him having to make another pit stop. As you can see, now moving on to lap 35, Daniel Ricciardo actually made his pit stop, but there was nothing really to show for it, and he's actually managed to close back in on us. Vettel managed to jump us as well, but it was very much just we made a very little mistake, and Vettel just absolutely abused us. But coming on into this final lap of the race, Daniel Ricciardo is now really, really hassling us for this 4th place. We really need these points. I think Nico Rosberg is going to be over in P2, but Lewis Hamilton wins the race. They're very, very good for his championship. As he's really started to slack off in these first couple of races here. But coming into the final couple of straights, is Daniel Ricciardo going to be able to hassle us? And I think, in all honesty, guys, we do pretty much all know the answer at this stage. I think even with DRS's slipstream, Ricciardo's not going to be able to close it in anywhere near enough, and that's just the brilliant thing about this Force India. It's almost like the Williams on F1 2015. But coming through the final chicane, we're going to take home P4 in the Canadian Grand Prix. They're a very, very solid result for myself, and more points on the board there. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more F1 2016. I'm going to leave you guys now with the points. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.